Okay, as promised, another very quick video just showing my progress with a new version of Triptico. So I'll start by signing into my test account. And what I thought I'd show today is how easy it is to create an activity, a few different ways to create an activity, and then a few ways in which that activity can be opened with lots of different resources. So I'm going to create, so I'll click the create button. I'm just going to create a simple list for now. I'm going to call it countries beginning with A. Oops. And so what I'm going to do, I'm going to make an activity where I've got countries beginning with A and then the capital city of those countries. So I need to add another column. So I just slide that switch across. So now I've got two columns. I can type my countries down here and the capital cities in this column. One thing that people have asked about is it possible to import or to copy and paste data, and it is. That's another feature that I've added. So I found this spreadsheet online just from the United Nations, just a list of all different countries and capitals. So what I'll do, I'll just copy this, all the countries beginning with A, into the activity. So I click to copy that. Now if I open the menu, I've got a button here, import data. So it says, will this data be for column 1 or column 2? So this is the countries, so I'll put column 1, and then all I do is just paste it in there. So it tells me there's 14 different items, which is right, the 14 countries beginning with A. I click done, and there we go. So I've got all my countries beginning with A in that first column. There's another way I can do it, which is even slightly easier. So I'll get the capital cities for those countries now. Again, I'll copy those. And as I'm on the desktop, I can just right click and I can either paste into column 1, or in this case I want to paste them into column 2. And so there we go. So I've got all the countries beginning with A in column 1 and all the capital cities in column 2. I can preview that, see how it would look, for example, as a spinner. So there's all the different countries. I can spin the spinner, Austria, and then click to view the capital city. So that looks fine. So now that I've made it, I can save it. So I'll click save. I'll call it countries beginning with A. I can add some tags, so I might tag this one geography, capital cities, just so in the future if I'm ever searching for this particular activity, or if anybody else is searching for this activity, if they type in capital cities or geography, then it will appear. That'll do for now. I think I've discussed as well about the public and private. If I wanted this to just be an activity that was just available to me, that wouldn't show up when other people searched, then I could click private. But for now I'll keep it as public so other people can view and use this activity as well if they want to. So I'll save that. And there we go, it tells me the save has been successful. So I can close it, exit create mode. I've already saved it, so that's fine. And now when I click on my resource database, this new activity, countries beginning with A, is there ready for me to use. So I'll click to launch it, and then it asks me which resource I want to use to open it. I'll open it with a spinner again just to show you the new feature that I've added. Get a few little messages. This just tells me that one of the countries has been abbreviated. That's fine. It says that you can use the flip selector. If you didn't want that abbreviation, then the flip selector is perhaps a better option. And this is what I wanted to show you today, how you can swap the data shown on the spinner. So at the moment I've got all the countries on the spinner, and then when I click to view the extra information, I see the capital city. But I can switch that if I wanted to, so I can press switch data and it just switches things around for me. So now my spinner's got all the capital cities on, and then when I click to view the extra information, that's when I will see the country. And I can also change, if I just wanted 5 segments on my spinner, then I can do that now, and it'll just create a spinner with 5 segments. Okay, another new resource, which I'm not sure if I've shown on these videos before, is the bingo resource. So again, this is just the exact same list, but I can now open it with bingo. So the students would create their own bingo card, write down any 6. So they might write down Baku and Vienna, Andorra la Vella, and then we can have a little game of bingo. And so choosing number 3 shows us a country, and then when the students matched all the capital cities on their card to a particular country, they can shout bingo. And I've also created another new resource called Hidden Card, which this used to be, or is at the moment, is called What's the Question? But I changed it slightly, I thought, because as in this example here, using my countries and capitals, it doesn't actually need a question, so I thought it was perhaps a little bit confusing to call it What's the Question? And I'll maybe show you a couple more examples of different types of activities I've created that work well with this. Again, something slightly different at the moment with What's the Question. When you create the activity, you have to say which are the 10-point questions, which are the 20, which are the 30, and it locks that activity into What's the Question. Whereas now, when I start the game, I decide myself which are the 10-point envelopes. So these are the easier ones, so I might say Argentina, Algeria, not many easy ones, Afghanistan, and Albania perhaps, and then I choose the medium difficulty ones, and then it automatically selects the 4 most difficult ones. So I click to continue with that board, decide how many teams I want. So let's just say we have 3 teams, so let's just call the teams the Sharks, the Tigers, and the Eagles. And so it plays very much the same as What's the Question. So the Sharks have been randomly selected to go first, so they would choose a card, and then for 10 points they would have to tell me what they think's on the card that's hidden inside this envelope. So Buenos Aires. And then again, as with What's the Question, it's up to the teacher or whoever's sort of managing the game to decide whether to award the points or not. Okay, so that's Hidden Card. I'll show you some other resources that work quite nicely with that. I made this sort of food activity. So you can see this has got 22 items, 2 columns and 22 images. And it's just different foods. So I can launch it again. I'll launch it with Hidden Card. And so again, there's no question, but it's quite a nice one. It would work in lots of different languages or in for lots of different subjects. So you just got to look at the picture and then guess from the picture what's going to be inside the envelope. So again, it wants the 10-point easiest questions. So I'll choose those, and then the medium ones, and then the 4 most difficult ones. Just got 2 teams this time. We'll just call them red team and blue team. So the idea is the same. So in this case they're all in English, but if you were learning French or Spanish or Chinese or whatever it was, you could have the hidden words in whatever language you like. So we'll just start with banana. And there it goes again. But I could open this same one. This is the same activity. I could open it with the spring selector, which now works with images too. So it sends up the picture and then I click and it tells me that's an apple and a peach. I can open that same activity with the spinner. So it adds the random ones. Those images are a little bit big for the spinner, but I can spin and see it there. Okay, so I think that's sort of lots of different things. You might have noticed as well, each activity has got a code linked to it. So that food activity has got the code 61. So another idea is that I could tell my students that when they open Triptico, just type 61 in there, then click the arrow and it'll straight away open that activity for them, so they don't have to go through the database and search for anything. So hopefully that gives you a few sort of, or shows you a few of the new features that I've added. Still got lots to do. It all works really nicely on the iPhone and the iPad as well, which is great. So all being well, be able to get a version of Triptico on the App Store for people to begin using in conjunction with the desktop version. So that should be nice too. Okay, if anyone's got any questions or feedback, it's always appreciated. Please get in touch either via the site or via email. and I'll keep updating the site with information too. Thanks for watching the video. Bye bye.